Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at mobile web development. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So just before we get started, what exactly does mobile development refer to? So it's basically a development process which requires creating a website built for desktop, but as well as that, creating it so it works for mobile and tablet. Now, as well as this, there is also mobile development, and I'll cover that in this video as well. And mobile development refers to the process of creating applications for mobile devices, and that would be for smartphones and tablets. And the mobile apps are designed to run on specific mobile operating systems, and it would be like Android or the likes of iOS, which is used by Apple iPhone. And they would offer unique user experiences tailored to the device's capabilities and form factors. Now, the first one that I want to cover there is, so let's first discuss about the native mobile development. Now, not necessarily to do with the general development of a website, however, it still relates to mobile development. Native apps are developed specifically for a particular mobile platform using its native programming languages and development tools. So for Android, developers use Java or Kotlin, and I'm going to actually go ahead and demonstrate how this looks. So I've got Android Studio up, and this would be a popular choice in iOS or Android development. So if I actually go ahead and open it up, you can see that it has been made using Java. So of course we have our file name .java, so that's how you can confirm. Anyway, we'll go ahead and run the app and see how it looks. So I'll actually stop the app now. So we'll go ahead and run this app. Now what's great about Android Studio is you can actually run it on multiple devices. So if I choose it for Pixel 3a, I can go ahead and choose it for Pixel 3a, or I can run it on multiple devices. So depending what device I choose. So if I do choose a different device, and it could be a tablet for all I want to use, I can. Anyway, I'll go ahead and hit play, or run the app, sorry. So Shift 10, and I will get a little pop-up. So this is what the application looks like, and I'm able to test it through here. So this is more or less what native mobile development is. Now you do have other ones as well, like Xcode, and that was actually developed for iOS. So I'll actually just see if this works, and we'll log in, back. So we'll just retry that, open up the app. So you can see how there's a splash screen, so this is all being developed through there, and then we'll retry this now. ProfileTree and log in. So, of course, I've got a message there. Good afternoon, of course, and the name. So it runs on the actual timing of it. So if we check the finance screen, we should be able to see an area for where they've got the time, or where we've got the time. Okay, so you can see there. Or for the main screen, sorry. Okay, and then there's the main screen. So there's how it runs. So that's how we're able to detect whether it's morning time, afternoon, or the evening. You can see that it's more than or less than. So that's how it runs. So it runs off an if statement. So it's more or less just easy enough to develop on these sort of native mobile apps or native mobile development. Now, these apps would generally offer high performance, smooth user experience, and of course have access to native device features, but will require separate code bases for each platform. Next up is hybrid mobile development, and these apps would be using web technologies like HTML and CSS and JavaScript, so more or less linking with the web development. Now, they are wrapped in a native container to run on multiple platforms, and it uses the popular frameworks like React Native and Flutter just to enable developers to create cross-platform apps that share a single code base. Now, hybrid development does provide faster development cycles, but may have some performance trade-offs compared to native apps. So our next one is web-based mobile development, and web apps are accessed through a mobile device's web browser and run on web technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, they are not installed onto the device and don't take up storage space. Now, these web apps have the advantage of being accessible on any device with a browser, but may lack access to certain native device features. Now, before we move away from the development stages, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how it's actually created. So this is more or less where the development stages would go, which is the use of a app or application called Figma. Now, it doesn't have to be Figma, there are other ones to use out there. And there's actually plenty of sources out there like Sketch, you've got InVision Studio, Azure, you've got Craft, proto.io. So there's plenty of different types of areas where you can use and utilize these tools for mobile web development. And going back to the actual Figma, now this is where the UI and UX designer can communicate with the actual web developer or software engineer, depending who would be tasked to do this. And of course, they'll be here to guide you on what parts you need to design and what parts would be acceptable and can be used for it. So you can see that this is the desktop version, but it'll be more or less the same on mobile, but shrunk. So I would say that the actual hero section would be a little bit smaller. Then a couple of things will be reduced or either hidden. So multiple options in terms of the actual development stage for a website. So the next one is performance optimization. Now, as a mobile developer or a web developer, you want to optimize your website or app's performance by reducing resource usage, managing memory, and minimizing loading times. Now, we've spoke about this in different videos as well, just explaining how hosting is very, very important in terms of having a website up, as you want to improve user experience by upgraded SSDs or RAMs, GPUs, things like that. Of course, the better the equipment is, the better the actual site can run, especially if it's on a singular server on its own. But overall, performance is critical for providing a smooth user experience. And just so you guys could see how you can check the performance optimization on a website quickly. When you're on the actual site, you gotta actually just right click, inspect, and this console comes out. Now you can right click, you can just left click here, then click on the lighthouse, or we can get a performance insight if we want to as well. So from here we can measure the page speed load. So this is it buffering, you can see, and that's the page loaded on our left. See how it loads as we scroll. So we'll just wait till that buffer is fully done, and that's 100%. So then you can see that it's now retrieving the data. And then we'll get the actual results, so we could see how the site performs. So if we play it, we could see that from this point the HTML loads in, and then we've got the CSS of course loading in at that time, and the JavaScript. You could actually see the performance it's doing. So if we scroll down, you can see this in a little bit better. See if I can actually extend this out a little bit so it's a little clearer. So Google Analytics, google.com, so that's the network, ProfileTree.com. You can see the page speed load, and then our images as well, and any other. Now we could see the performance of rendering and our video frame composer, our renderer as well. So it's all working perfectly fine, and I would say that it is at around 90 or 100% now. As well as that, we can check Lighthouse, whether we want to see and analyze the page speed load. So I'll go ahead and skip forward till that audit is complete. So our performance unfortunately is a little bit lower, but that's due to the fact that the Chrome extensions, we've got Chrome extensions which can affect it as well. And on top of that as well, we've got several browsers open, so that could affect the speed. So it's not just the actual site, but it can be our actual device. So with mobile security, it is the critical aspect of mobile web development, and it's to ensure that you protect users' sensitive data. Now this definitely will occur for e-commerce websites as well as non-e-commerce websites. As well as this, you need to ensure the integrity of the application and prevent unauthorized access. Now, mobile web developers should follow the best security practices to minimize the risk of security breaches and safeguard user information. Now we're going to take a look at some of the key security considerations in mobile web development. So you could use the likes of security or a secure communication like Cloudflare. Now, always use HTTPS to encrypt data transmitted between the mobile device and the server. HTTPS ensures that data such as the login details or login credentials and personal information is encrypted, and that prevents unauthorized interception and eavesdropping. So that's what you want. You want to make sure that no one's reading valuable information like bank details as well. That would be the biggest one that you want to, of course, be careful with. Now, if you don't see a lock on the actual website, try not to go into it. It could be unsecure. There may be viruses that can enter your device, so just be aware of that. And of course, that's the same application for the development or the desktop version of a website. And just to double check as well, whether a website or mobile website is secure, the best way you could do is to actually get their URL and then paste it into the SSL shopper. Now, there are some websites that are similar like this, which is the SSL checker. Anyway, go ahead and check it. So we'll do ProfileTree.com. So you can see that we have the IP address, we've got the Cloudflare, and saying that the certificate will expire in 284 days. So we can say, or safely say, that ProfileTree is one of the secure websites. You also have details saying that the hostname is ProfileTree.com, and you can see the organization, or the organization behind it is Cloudflare for the server type. So that is all clear. So there's other parts as well to mobile security. So you've got secure storage, content security policy, you've got access controls, regular updates and patching, secure APIs, error handling. So as I said, loads to go through. So we'll do one here, which is secure APIs. Now, if your mobile web application communicates with APIs, make sure that you ensure that the endpoints are secure and protected from the common attacks like CSRF, which is cross-site request forgery, and the rate limiting to prevent abuse. And most importantly as well is the error handling. So implement proper error handling to provide limited information to users in case of errors, avoiding potential exposure of sensitive data. So as I said, plenty of different mobile security that you should double check before you actually publish the mobile web development or mobile website. So what are the other key aspects in mobile web development? So one thing that you want to do is when you have finished the development of the actual site or website, you want to make sure that it is responsive for every device, desktop, tablet, as well as mobile. So thorough testing and debugging are crucial to ensure that it functions correctly on various devices and operating systems. Now, as well as this, you could, if you are creating a site on WordPress, let's just say, or if you're building one from scratch, make sure that you have the best version for the coding language that you're using. As well as that, make sure that everything is up to date, and make sure that the actual plugins, if you are going to use plugins, are functional and working, as this can cause some issues. So if you've got the site live, you may have like a critical error message. So that's something that you don't want to see, and then you'll end up having to back up the site and then start from scratch again. So try to avoid that. Try to make sure that all your plugins are up to date. Delete any plugins that you don't need if you are only using WordPress. But other than that, if you are hard coding it from scratch, then you're fine. And just make sure that the actual site is up to date and maintained. So there you have it. That is mobile web development in a nutshell. And we also discussed about mobile development as well. So everything is more or less the same as normal web development. You're looking at the responsiveness of the site. You're looking for security. You're looking for any errors or issues, doing regular updates, patching. So whether it be a WordPress site, whether it be a from scratch coded website, you will always go through the same process, whether it be a different type of development. And it goes for the same with application development or with mobile app. You want to test and make sure that the app or the functionality works, that it's downloadable, people won't run into any issues, no bugs, no errors. And on top of this, for any development anyway, you're going to do some penetration testing and security audits. So that's when you regularly perform penetration testing to identify and address any vulnerabilities in that particular application or the website. But anyways, guys, as I said, that pretty much reaches the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please do leave us a comment in the comment section below. And if you're thinking about getting a website built, why not check our website at www.profiletree.com. And if you have any questions at all, just take a look at the contact us, enter your details, and tell us about your project. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next video.